Settle down over there. 6 o'clock. Notice is hereby given of a regular meeting road, Port Isabel, Texas, on the 28th day of October 2015 at the hour of 6 p.m. for consideration of the business of the agenda below. This notice is posted at the office of the district on October 22nd, 2015 at 1:10 p.m. in accordance with the Texas Open Meetings Act, Texas Government Code 551-041, 551-050, and a copy furnished to the county clerk in Cameron County, Texas. Now call the meeting to order. We do have a quorum. 2 people are missing, Mr. Cantu and Mr. Kiplinger. Okay. Everybody stand for the Pledge of Allegiance and the invocation. Anyone care to say the prayer this evening?
Yes, Victor, go ahead.
Victor will.
Okay, thank you.
Prayer first.
Dear Lord, thank you for having this meeting tonight. We can all make our good judgments and good decisions for this meeting. Have all the wise decisions that we need to make. Amen.
Amen.
Amen. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Item 3, excuse me, invitation to the audience for discussion. Is there anyone here that would like to speak at this time?
Mr. Vice Chairman, I'd
You're
like to
not the audience. That's the audience.
I'd like to just make a comment.
Yes, sir.
Last board meeting, I mentioned it to the others. I think you're out, but they completed that water tank up here. They completed it. It's painted already. Just for your information.
That out because we saw it in the disbursements.
Okay. So I want to make sure you were informed.
I drove by it.
Good. Looks nice.
$75,000.
Yeah.
What did I tell you 3 years ago, buddy? Huh? It's going to come back to haunt us. $75,000. Anyway, was anyone else in the audience have anything? I keep doing this because I can't read with these here. Okay. No invitation from the audience. Would we consider and approve item 4, the minutes of the regular meeting, October 14th, 2015?
So moved.
We have a motion by Mr. Wells to approve the minutes.
Second.
Your second from Mr. Friedman. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. General Manager's report.
Yes, sir, Mr. Vice Chairman and members of the board. Next month's meetings are going to be on the 11th and the 25th, and we have like a Veterans Day on the 11th. I don't know if you all want to reschedule to the 10th, the 12th, or maybe the 18th.
The 25th is the day before Thanksgiving, so my recommendation would be to have one meeting for the month of November, and I would suggest making it on the 18th of November.
Come back with that one.
My suggestion, November 11th is a federal holiday, Veterans Day. This office is closed. So and the 25th is the Wednesday before Thanksgiving. I personally will be out of town, but I would recommend having one meeting in the month of November, and I would make it November 18th, which is the middle of November.
Are you putting that under the form of a motion?
This is discussion only right now, but...
Well, it's under discussion, but it's going to be coming up. Okay. Then let's... Mr. Attorney, can I take this to the form of a motion?
I'm trying to look where it is.
It's under General Manager's report. It's only for discussion only. It's really not.
You can, I mean...
Well, we're talking about changing the date of the meeting.
You can decide.
We can let that...
Yes, sir.
We can make that our attorney.
Okay, I'll second it.
Have you got it down? Mr. Friedman has made the motion to move a single meeting to November 18th. of this year, of course. Seconded by Mr. Wells. Is there any discussion, any question? Hearing no question, those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. November 18th will be the next meeting. Okay. What else do we have?
Okay, on the second bullet there, I have a POWC. We got calls from the property owners who care from South Padre Island, and they want to have a meeting up there on the November the 7th, and we have a 10-minute presentation for them. So just want to advise the board that we're going to be there for 10 minutes and give them an update of the district's projects, November 7th. And that's all I have right now.
Okay.
The Hilton Garden.
That concludes your report?
Yes, sir.
That concludes the district general manager's report. Is there any question on the report? Hearing no question, we'll move on. Item number 6, the district engineer's report.
Sounds like a warning alarm.
What?
I think it's the vacuum for the cleaning.
Sorry.
She's our new
We're on fire.
custodian, so
It's the LNG
she's not aware of the
plant.
meeting. So.
LNG plant
LNG
just
plant
went
just
up.
blew.
All right.
We can't close the door. So.
That's what we're gonna all hear, guys.
Hey, Eddie, we're not very smart. We're not very smart, but we're fun. We're a lot of fun.
Hey, there's something to be said about that, Mr. Chairman.
All right, so I guess we're good with starting the engineer's report, or? Okay. All right, well, yeah, we'll only have the one item. It's just an update on our Series 2012 bond projects, or mainly our Proposition 1, where we did make that formal request to TCEQ for both an extension of time for the approved order from 2012 and also a change in scope. And they completed technical review, and we got that formal approval on October 15th, 2015, which that approval letter is included as an attachment in the board packet. And then, so basically what I also did is I updated this bond project's spreadsheet for the current fiscal year, and I also included the change in scope to reflect, our formal approval we've already gotten with TCEQ. So just to kind of to walk you through the spreadsheet real quick that I handed out before the meeting, that first group, the TCEQ original amount approved, that's what was presented in that bond application report that RPS had submitted. And so that's kind of how we started off, in the first approval. And then, of course, with the 2012 bond, we never issued the contingency amounts. And so this change of scope amount is basically our current approval that's just been in place from October 15th of this year. Where engineering, I've just put it, I separated the engineering, for project-specific breakdowns. And so this is going to be the current budget that we'll be watching, from this point forward. And so as far as the last section expenses, all prior fiscal years I just put into one column, and then I've opened up the current fiscal year with all the invoices that we processed for the month, and then the purchase orders with their remaining balance. And so that's how we're sort of showing, our current balance on our bond money. And then also we're probably looking at issuing that additional $2.58 million in early 2016. So I went ahead and added these columns on the bottom, or the rows on the bottom, to already be getting prepared to get that in the bank. That's basically where we're sitting right now.
Is there a question on the the district engineer's report? Do I hear a question there?
Only question I have is on that wastewater effluent reuse system, which I'm against. I'd sure like to see that move back up to water distribution line replacement.
Well, that's actually the Port Isabel sewer plant.
The what?
The Port Isabel sewer plant. That's the name that like, even though it says wastewater effluent reuse system, it's the Port Isabel sewer plant. It's fixing our sewer plant. That's what that budget's for.
Okay.
I have a question. Under non-construction costs, we had $1 million, and we're down to $300,000. First, I'd like to know what the non-construction costs were that all of a sudden got reduced by $700,000.
Yeah, that's a good question, because it was from that RPS application.
I'm glad
it was
you noticed that.
a bond issuance cost, legal, all these dollar amounts that they had put in their original report, and then when it came down to actual expenses, between the bond premium, the actual cost that we had to pay in addition to the premium was the $170,000. for, like, it's preparing the bond application report and all the soft costs associated with, closing on the bonds or issuing them. So that's what.
So we actually didn't spend that $700,000, we only spent $3.
No.
Or the million, we only spent $3 of it.
Correct. So for this unissued portion being 2.58 million, kind of the breakdown of that is the contingency, which is 1.7 million, and then the unissued, the costs that were tied to issuance that was not real, or, didn't come into the real dollars when we issued the bonds. So that's how we have a pending authority of 2.58 million that we can still sell.
Okay, so now I can assume that we've only spent $300,000 in non-construction costs, and that's all we need to spend, correct?
No, we've only spent 170,000.
But we're only going to spend another 125.
Well, that's an estimate that will, like, the real numbers will take effect when we close in February.
How did we come up with $1 million to start with if it's going to be that much less?
I don't know. That's Wayne Hunter was the author of that one. I really don't know how all that came about.
Okay. Is there any other questions for? Any other questions?
No.
Well, you've heard the district engineer's report. We'll go on to item 7, Director of Finance report.
I'll start with the remaining of the 2.580 that Mr. Ortiz is talking about. It's going to be, there's a timetable attached to the agenda, and if you can see, it's going to be January 14, 2016, when we're starting, doing all the bond counseling, submitting all the agenda items, and then if all of this is, going the way that we're expecting, by February 24th, we should be able to get that money in the bank. And just so you all know, we already have that money, the money that is going to come from the property taxes to pay back this money is already set up on those truth in taxation that we did back about 2 months ago. So that means that we're going to get the 2.580. And then we're going to get back this, on a monthly basis from property taxes, so we can pay back this bond.
That's what we've already agreed on already.
Yes, so it's something that, it's a debt service that we're going to get, but however, we already have the funding schedule, how we're going to pay back. And this is what we have for this 2.580 million for the preliminary timetable. And then the next item, I don't know if you all have any questions about it. Do you have any questions?
I don't have a question.
Okay. The next item that I have is the audit progress update based on our end of the year financial audit.
That's this. Am I correct?
That's what Mr. Ortiz provided.
No, that's the bond. That's the bond project.
Yeah.
Okay.
And on the audit, we're expecting that by mid-November we should be complete, and the auditors started coming on September the 30th. They did the inventory, which usually is one of the tedious parts from the audit, and they're gonna come back on Monday so they can continue doing the financials, basically verifying deposits, all the income entrance and everything. So we're hoping and we're positive that we should be able, to complete it by mid-November. And this is what I have. And also, just I wanted to touch a note with you that on this year we did something that has not been done for the last 7 years, which is the capitalization of some projects. I've been checking some of the expenses from the 2007 bonds that were as a part of the the capitalization progress report. It was kind of like all the expenses were spent but not capitalized. So this year we're capitalizing this expenditure, so which means that our financial statements are supposed to look a little bit better, with more capitalization. And also the meters, I don't think that has been done for the last 10 years or so. Now we're recovering the expenditures that we're, doing in meters. So like any meters in the past, everything was just sent immediately to operations and maintenance expenditures. So now we're capitalizing, so we're recovering the cost on equipment and labor in the actual meter, so that way we can, recover the cost at least for 10 years. So
Under the
it's sort of like
inventory
a
loss.
savings. Or in the inventory loss, that's another one. So hopefully we can have a purchasing agent later, because we really need to take care of that inventory, and really that's something that I would like to recommend a new program for our inventory, but that's going to go in another item.
You are going to recommend that we have a purchasing agent?
A purchasing agent, and also an inventory program that is supposed to be tied to the in-code, so everybody can see what's coming in and what's going out. And basis, we're talking about fuel, we're talking about meters, any type of materials that we're purchasing. We should have more control on that.
Thank you. I only suggested this 3 years ago.
Oh. I wasn't here.
That's
but
correct.
Definitely, I mean, we really need that, and that's something that it's like right now, based on the losses and stuff like that we're putting together, we could definitely save from those losses and put it back probably in a purchasing agent salary.
What is the purchasing agent salary, roughly?
We can talk about 45, 48, more or less. And even if we start off with maybe 40, even if we start with someone with 40, I can tell you that, we've seen some contracts, for example, kind of like slipping out of the kind of like the scheduled time frame that we're supposed to have, like missing stuff, and all of this needs to be taken care of by one person. It needs to be controlled. There's no way that everybody has their own contracts,
Bless your heart. Bless your little heart.
Hopefully we can do this. and I spoke to Mr. Galvan. He's very supportive with the idea. Hopefully we can do something very soon. But this is part of, what is coming up from this audit, that, we really need to do something about it.
Gentlemen, this is not a board item, but I've been in the corporate world half of my life, and I've been in self-employed the other half, and I'll guarantee you a good purchasing agent will pay for himself, herself, whoever sells that is.
Yes.
Does that complete your report?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Are there any other questions? Any questions?
No.
No questions. Hearing no questions, we'll move on to dun-dun-dun. Item 8, consider and discuss International Bank of Commerce, the Gulf Coast Water Agreement. Gentlemen, 2 other directors are not here. I really have a problem with the agreement. I've read through it. I don't like their time frame, and I'm not sure. I have one question to go before the board. What does it cost us to treat 1,000 gallons of raw water?
We can answer that. Part of it, I can answer that. We did a rate study. We don't treat raw water. It's just
Wait a minute. Stop.
It's just pump. The electrical
No,
cost.
once we get it here, we treat it to send it here.
No, sir. We pump it to get it here. We just have an electrical cost on it, and the maintenance on the pumps, and then the employees.
Let me rephrase my question. Once it's here, and we put it through the treatment plant, and we send it out for domestic use to the homeowners and businesses, what does it cost us from the time the raw water goes in until the time it comes out and is treated water?
Oh.
What does 1,000 gallons of water cost us to treat?
Okay, I see your question now. Okay, the treated water cost is about $1.75 to $2 per 1,000 gallons. And that's, regular, treatment, like we do. Right.
I guess what you're calling usable water is
Potable water.
Drinkable
Drinkable,
water.
potable water.
turnkey.
Right.
And we sell it for what, $3.50?
From the, those from the pond. Yeah, what's our,
What's the cost on that one, Charles?
Oh, I don't-
After, like,
I don't have the
$2
rate.
or like two?
On 4,000 gallons.
Yeah, what's
I
our
mean,
rate
that's what
schedule
everybody
run?
gets. And
Our
then
base
about
charge for
13
residential
bucks,
meter.
14 bucks.
Like a residential or just,
Residential?
And just the breakdown of it.
yeah.
On a $25 bill, how much of it is it?
Well, for 4,000 gallons.
4,000 gallons, yeah, what, you know, you got the
Twelve.
sewer.
That is like
It's like
$12.
That's what we
$12.
figured, that's what we figured.
Charge sewer.
Okay, that's what we figured, okay.
so you could say that,
Yeah.
it's, when it goes out,
Roughly $3 per thousand.
Yeah, about three.
$3 a thousand.
Exactly.
Okay.
And it's cost us, what, $1.75, something like that?
Yeah, I know cost of service of the
$2
plant itself
to
is
treat
about
it. You're saying we're only making $1 a thousand in profit to go back, oh, don't say profit, my God, we're a non-profit organization.
Well, it's not probably, because then we've got everybody
That we
else.
only make $1 a thousand to go back to pay the light bill.
Yeah.
Correct? Okay. And yet, they want,
They want their raw water at 60 cents.
they want their raw water at 60 cents. Well, basically, the raw water is costing the homeowner $1 a thousand.
For treated.
Yep. You take the treatment away and we just piped it to my house.
I got a quick
Cost
question.
me $1 a gallon or $1 a thousand. That's a reality. Numbers just are really funny with me, guys. Also, the time frame on this thing, where's it at? Where's it? That's ridiculous. Don't give me a break. They want to.
11 years.
Yeah, 2026.
Can I interrupt for just a second, Whitey?
I'll
And
interrupt.
this was a question, the original contract price was 32 cents an additional, 208.33 monthly. Are they saying in this that they're not gonna pay the monthly fee, it will just be 60 cents per 1,000 gallons, period?
Oh, I read it.
So,
Well, that was in our rate increase that we approved a couple of meetings back, rate, which is based on the rate study that was done by economist.com.
okay, okay, now, repeat
Because
that,
we've changed
Charles.
it to, what, 60 cents? I think
So
that
we
was
waived the
approval.
minimum,
Right, yeah, because like their average bill will be maybe like $4,800, and the way our
it
rate
won't
study...
if it rains like it did this year.
Well, right. Right. I mean, the thing is that the reason
When
why
did we
I
waive
recommended
the monthly
removing that
fee?
base charge and change to 60 cents is because of the way our encode system works. It's easier to bill and keep all the accounts on the same setup. And then also that's the way our rate study analysis was performed.
But they didn't use that much water this year.
You're telling me 2 weeks ago, we waived their monthly fee?
Well, it's the new rate that we went from 42 cents to 60 cents, but at the same time the 280 went to zero in that action we took, you know, whenever we took that rate
And
increase.
we took board action on that?
Yes.
Gentlemen, we haven't been doing our homework.
I didn't know we did that. I didn't know we waived the monthly
I
fee.
did not know that.
Okay, and then no future increases more than 5% annually. Now, what if we wanted to go up 10% on raw water? We're locked with them, right? I'd like to make a motion.
As the
Why don't we
board,
table
as the board, we weren't
You wanna
doing
have
our
a
homework.
30-minute workshop on it when everybody's here,
I
maybe
do.
before the next meeting.
I have a question
And
to my
talk
other
about
board
this.
members. Were either one of you aware that 2 weeks ago,
No.
we waived the $208
No, I was not.
fee? I wasn't either.
Nope. I didn't
Now,
know.
that's 3 of us, and I know that between the 3 of us, we ain't got good sense, but the 5 of us were here 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, well, yeah, I can go back to the records.
I don't think this was presented to us clearly, that we're gonna waive this.
We went to
Okay.
a .60, but we didn't know the 208 was waived.
Like
is what the deal
6
was.
or 8 weeks ago.
Right,
Because
right.
I had to hold on to it until the
I didn't know we
15th of
dropped the
October
monthly-
before it.
When it rains all
No,
summer.
I
it's
wasn't. I
screwed,
mean-
where They ain't gonna buy any water.
So
I'm gonna kick this back on you guys over there. This wasn't presented to us clearly enough.
Oh, yeah, it was it was like for the year as a whole, it would average to a 20% increase, which is what we approved. But I mean, of course, between your wet and dry season, it's gonna vary a lot.
Yeah, and if it rains a lot, they don't need any water.
No.
We maintain all the equipment up to the point, and no, all I'm saying is I was not aware of the fact that we waived the 208 monthly fee. And these two gentlemen say they weren't either. And I'm disappointed in you for presenting it to us and not making that very clear.
We can go to the internal memo that was in the board packet when we did that approval, because it reads exactly like that, changing the base rate from
And we
the
haven't
280
done
to
our
0.
homework, gentlemen. We have not done our homework properly, because I would have never agreed to that.
I'm gonna go back and look at it when I get back home.
I've got a question for council on the number two difference. It shall allow any homeowners associated on the property use this water supply to water common areas by these HOAs. This could potentially be a large source of water used to water common areas not included in the original agreement. This could be a loss for revenue for the district because the HOAs would likely be purchasing potable water from the district for this supply. So Counselor, what you're saying is they will all go to this raw water and not buy our expensive water.
Right, essentially, that was new language in the contract that wasn't in the original contract. I don't know how many HOAs there are, I don't know how many common areas there are, how much water they use to water the common areas. It's not really a policy, I mean.
There's a lot of common area
Well,
out there,
there-
just like the casitas, they water all of that.
Right.
And
no.
I'm pretty sure that comes out of good water, not raw water. So I guess can you run that stuff to a sprinkler?
Yeah.
Yes,
Oh,
yes.
That's
Raw
the way-
water will go to a sprinkler system?
That's the way
Yeah,
they
they
water
filter it.
their
It's filtered. They pump
golf
it and filter it.
course area, their lawns.
Wow. So, man, this just looks to me
Yeah, you
like
come to the mic if you want to talk.
we're throwing the baby out with the bathwater on this deal, dude.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't like the deal.
Oh,
I
neither.
don't like the deal.
Counselor, do you like the deal?
What if it was your
I
deal?
always-
What if it was your deal? You
I
look like
always
a guy that
caution-
could do
I
a
always
deal.
caution my clients is, I'm only here to answer legal questions, not policy questions.
Taking the easy way out,
That's right, I make enough hard choices.
We need to move this aside, this
Yes.
is discussion only, we're missing two board
Yeah.
members, in my honest
It's only
opinion.
discussion.
So I'd like to put it back on either for a workshop before the next meeting, or for discussion at the next meeting, or executive session at the next meeting.
So
I think one of
moved.
those
I think
three.
we need a 30-minute workshop before the next meeting to
Then
talk
let's,
about
So,
it.
and I'd almost like to put it on in executive session also, and discuss it.
Which
Can
you
we move on to
because it's a
item 9
contract,
then?
So,
it's
Well, we need to make a
compensation.
motion there, don't we?
No, this doesn't take board action.
no, it's not work, so that would be
Oh,
my
okay.
suggestion.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know if you're aware, but Chris Mead from the golf course is
Yes.
in attendance if you'd have any questions.
I could just give you some information that you obviously, might help to your discussion. That's all I'm here for, is
Okay.
relay information.
Like to hear it.
Chairman,
Would you like me to come to the podium or?
Yes, we can
talk about
record.
it?
Up to chairman.
Now, if you can come to the mic, please, because we're recording.
Chris Mead, with raw water, we have two different filters, basically to get shells out. It doesn't eliminate any contaminants other than large particles because they do jam the sprinklers. At some point in time during the past, under previous ownership, the irrigation system for the golf course was tapped for the HOA lawns and common areas. So they are, and to my knowledge, always have been irrigating with raw water. It's not that you're losing a potable customer. That's how it's always been.
Oh, okay.
We just want it to be known that, because the original agreement pretty much said golf course only, and, we just inherited it. We didn't start doing it, we're just trying to clean up what's going on. But the monthly minimum, our rolling 12 as far as September, we were a little over $40,000. We do water all the time. Currently, we have a spreadsheet based on how many heads are in each yard and how many heads are in the golf course, and we're on about a 60-40 split with the HOA. That's how we handle things now. So we don't anticipate any changes to overall consumption. If any, we would like to see it go down. As a company, we're into trying to reduce our water usage, particularly some wastewater on days. Everything we do is monitored, and you can turn the water off when it's raining and et cetera. But that's, our $40,000 number was prior to the rate increase. This last bill was our first bill with the 60-cent rate, and it was a little over $7,000. So we do go through a lot of water. But we want to be responsible and not go through more than we need to. Our purpose for amending the document and basically is all in order to make it very clear and not behind the scenes that they are irrigating the lawns with the same water we use for the golf course. Does that make sense? I mean, we're not asking for something we're not doing. We just want it to be very clear that it's being done because it was not permitted in the original document. It was going on when we got here, and we've been working on it almost since day one, correct, Carlos?
Yeah.
I mean, as soon as we found out what was happening, we've been trying to get it to where it's right. We just want to do what's right by the water district because, number one, we need the water for the golf course. I mean, that's, we don't want to lose that, but we want to do what's right for everyone.
Right, and one other issue is that agreement has a water rights, an annual water rights diversion limit, or, and I think just from doing analysis, the actual usage has probably been exceeding, the acre feet that's allowed by the contract. So that's something that we need to address, during this revision as well.
Yeah, I mean, this was very much intended as a first draft. Let's talk about it. We didn't anticipate a signature the first time you talked about it by any means, but mark it up, Mr. Counsel. However, and it'll go back to the bank's attorney. We don't personally have, our Touchstone attorneys are not involved. It's IBC counsel that's drafting the agreement. So I'm here to relay information or answer questions to the best of my ability at this meeting or at a workshop, however you feel I may be of benefit to help you get there.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Any other questions under item 8?
I think everybody ought to be.
We'll move on to item 9. Consider and, we okay with that?
Yes.
Consider and ratify water plant number 2 transfer pump station motor repair. They want $26,000 to repair the motor, and they want $42,000 for a new one.
So what's the difference on the warranty?
$16,000 difference in dollars.
What's the warranty difference?
The warranty difference?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, this one's getting coated with extra insulation and being prepared for the environment, but at the end of the day, it's still a WP1 enclosure, and so what we're going to do to protect our motors is build a building, because a totally enclosed motor would be double the price of a WP1 style enclosure for that size.
I've looked through this a little bit, but I didn't see any spec on amperage drawings that would, low load is 1200 at 1100. What's the,
I mean, well, the
if
motors...
we go with the new one, what's the full load amperage on the new one? What
I
I'm
wouldn't
getting down
know.
to,
I mean,
Charles, on this one.
they're 150 horsepower motors, but I think the entire water plant as a whole pulls, 360 amps after startup? So, but that's everything.
My question is, can we go to it, are we talking about a new identical motor, or are we talking about something that's going to be so much more efficient in electricity?
No, these motors are less than a year old. So there's no, it's going to be an equal, like a new motor, you're not going to gain any efficiency.
We're not going to gain any
repaired.
efficiency on that.
Yeah, the reason why these have been filling so quick is because they're in a moisture coastal environment, and they're not enclosed in a housing, like a building.
Okay.
And that's why they've been failing, basically. Or they're
Okay.
susceptible.
Now, they're only rebuilding the motor, or are they rebuilding the entire pump?
The entire pump was covered under warranty. So the pump has already been repaired by the warranty provider.
Okay.
And then this is the motor cost that
That's what we
that
talked
was out of
about, but
warranty.
you did tell me they had some warranty.
Right, they've already covered one motor under warranty, they've covered 2 pumps under warranty, and this is the one that was out of warranty.
Am I right to say that the, somehow the strainer,
Yes, well, the strainer was it had to have been a cast iron, and that's basically got eaten up. And so, I think a bottle got through the strainer, and that's what knocked out the impeller for the pump that's currently in service getting repaired. And then we probably had the same thing happen to this other pump that we've already gotten back.
So are they gonna use stainless on this one or something?
Yeah, the new
certainly
strainers are
hope
stainless.
so.
So we're not gonna have the corrosion issues.
So it can't happen again, okay.
Right.
Oh, stainless steel rusted.
Who's the water plant guy here? There he is.
Okay.
What do you recommend? Rebuild the old one or go with the new one? We're talking about $16,000. That's a lot of money.
Ideally, you wanna have the right motor there.
Well, his question is getting a WP1 enclosure.
Oh, a double WP1?
Yeah.
Still gonna have to have that.
You're gonna buy the same thing?
Yeah.
Same thing gonna happen?
And I mean, with the way they're rebuilding it with the extra insulation, that's probably above what you'd get in the original
Yeah.
shipment in the first place.
So it's another 15 grand for a new one.
Yeah, well, yeah, but plus they're putting extra insulation that you wouldn't get on a new motor. They're kind of, since they understand the conditions, they're kind of souping it up
They're beefing
in the
it
shop.
up.
Let's get a recommendation on it. Repair? Victor?
I'd recommend repair, because the true improvement's a $90,000 motor.
Engineer let's do it. I'll make a motion that we do the repair.
Do the repair. We have a motion to do the repair on the water plant number 2 transfer pump motor. We got a motion.
Make a second.
And we have a second by Mr. Friedman. All in favor of the $26,000 repair, please say aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. We'll go on to item 10. I hate that one. More money out the door. Right. You guys can read it. We got a consider and ratify unit number 33 vacuum compressor repair to the tune of $8,500.
Gotta be done, right?
Gotta be
Yeah,
done.
This is the blower that, originally, the repair was gonna be like $26,000. I think we talked about it last meeting. And then, a new one was gonna cost $18,000. I spoke to the representative and, he knocked it down. He gave it to me for $8,500, so I said, let's just go ahead and purchase that one. That's for the unit 33, the Vector truck,
Yeah.
the compressor.
Motion to approve.
33 or 32? This says 33. Did you say?
33.
33.
That's what we're talking
Vacuum
about.
pump, okay.
Motion made by Rich, second by Scott.
8,500 is better than the last month, what they were talking last week.
All approve?
Yep.
All approve. Motion carries. Item 10. 11, consider and approve resolution number 12710-15, adopting a revised personnel policy for the Laguna Madre Water District.
Mr. Vice Chairman, we got staff together, the managers, and discussed the mandatory certification. And we kind of revised it up to date, because it had rules in there from 1980s, 1990s. So we updated it, and on these, the new one that I'm recommending is that the water district is gonna pay only one time for the licenses instead of 2 or 3 times. So that way it gets the employees motivated to passing their license quicker. So one-time deal, and that's what the updates are.
Pay one time for each license.
Right, every time
For the A, the B, the C.
Correct.
And if they gotta take it the second time, they're
If they
on
have
their
to take
own.
the second time and they don't pass the test, they're responsible for, is that what you're, is that
Correct.
how you're wording it? Is that,
Right.
okay, I wanna make sure.
So what happens is that on the new rules, once you pay one time, you get 4 chances to pass the test. You get, like, every 3 months, you get a time frame where you can go take the test, retake it again. So they actually have like 4 chances out of the, so we only pay once for the license, and the other one is that we put some verbiage in there that reassures the district gets their money worth, you know, because back then the C and the B licenses didn't have any requirements on how long the employee would be here after they passed their test. A lot of the employees were leaving, you know, they got their C license, they left to another city. They got their B license, they went to another. So we're recommending that we have at least 2 years the employees stay 2 years with the district after they pass their license. And then on the A, I believe it was like 3 years, 4 years. So making sure that the district gets their money worth, you know. And if they do tend to leave prior to that time frame, they have to pay all the expenses back to the district. So this is just a reassurance to the district and management, you know, because the managers are concerned that the employees get their license, they goes to another entity. Council making sure that all the verbiage is okay. It's pretty simple verbiage in there, but if there's anything that we need to update on it, he can make sure that we get the right language on it.
So you don't want to approve this until you have the final?
You approve it tonight, and,
Yeah.
I mean,
you have a problem with that?
I think you can adopt it based on any recommended changes by council. And if I don't, I'll go over it one more time tomorrow morning with Mr. Galvan, but you can adopt it subject to one final review by council, if you like.
A motion to approve subject to a final review and adoption of the council's recommendation.
Second. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. On to item 12. Problem I have with item 12 is I'd like to put this out for bid and see who can get us the best interest rates on our money. Simple as that.
And I got an email from our chairman today, and he feels the same way, even though he couldn't be here.
Well, the board of course can decide, and I just want to let you know that my recommendation is to go ahead and authorize the depository agreement for renewal, and the reason is because this takes a lot of time. It's one of the efforts that is going to take us about 4 to 6 months to implement within the departments. This is not something that we're just going to go for bids and, you know, implement it in the office. This is going to change our payroll accounts, our 14 accounts, of everything that we have with bonds, with payroll accounts payable, the depository agreement that we have with the cash that we're getting daily. Just on the depository machine, you know, usually if you receive another regular contract, you have to pay $600. With IBC right now, we're getting a good deal because we're getting most of the fees waived. And I checked, in the last change that they did, it was starting the contract in 2013, and they started the bid process in October, and they finalized it to get the implementation in May. So it's an effort that is going to take time. And like right now, we're in the middle of the audit. We're short on people, so we have a lot of issues going on. So I don't know. My recommendation is just for this year to extend, and like for example here, you know, my customer service manager, my HR administrator, they can tell you how this is not impossible, but it's going to be difficult on all of us.
We're not talking about the payroll accounts. We're only thing we're discussing, or we're interested in, is return on our CD investment. As far as the other accounts, for payroll, for tax purposes, for all of that, we're not talking about taking all our money and taking it away from one bank. Am I correct on this, gentlemen?
No,
Well,
I'm sorry, no, the depository agreement is,
I thought we were talking about completely changing banks.
yes, that's what it is.
This is done the whole smear.
Yeah, this changed the whole deal. And
There's
like
a lot
I
of
said,
money. There's a lot of money at stake. I mean, there's.
Yep.
it's a lot of transactions and processes that we need to accommodate on the different departments. It's not a one time thing, you know, this actually, you know, like we need to bring the banks, we need to get, retrained, we need to change our system, the way it's working right now, and even,
I like
like I
everything under
said,
one umbrella. I like it all under one umbrella personally.
yes, believe
I
me,
don't
it
like
will
their
be,
interest
that's,
rate. I don't
like,
like
right
any
now,
of it.
we're getting the best deal. I mean, like I said, we can try it and everything, but it will put like a lot of pressure on us.
'Cause we had 5 or 6 different banks at one time we were dealing with.
We have 14 accounts right now, and everything is very well controlled. Before, there was, you know, issues, the way that it was controlled, the monies and everything. And IBC, so far, they're even helping us on reconciling. They give us the reconciliation and making sure that anything that comes in electronically gets deposited the same day. So we get credit on everything that we're getting, you know, through customer service,
It's incredible.
through the scanning and everything. So that helps us a lot. So, and just, I talked to one of the other banks, you know, and they told me, I mean, if you all wanna do the bids this year, we can do it, but it's gonna take a lot. Like, it's not so easy on them as well, because, like, first of all, they need to come up with a plan, they need to check our accounts, they need to check the processes. What we're doing right now is 200 checks per month, about 600,000, per year, 130,000, checks on payroll monthly. The online services, they provide us, like I said, with the same they credit. They don't charge us on that little the remote capture that we have. Usually that machine on itself, another company, another bank can charge you $400, $600 per month. We're
So,
not paying any of that.
This agreement takes this out to 2017, April 30th of 2017.
Yes, and that, let's say, like next year, you know, around this time, we could do the bidding, and we can change to whatever bank you all want.
Table
Well, if you want it to go, you're gonna have to,
No.
because I'm not voting for
it?
it. And I'm not gonna second it.
Motion to table it.
We have a motion to
That's what
table.
Mr. Kuppinger asked us to do too.
We have a motion to table
I'll second.
item and a second on the, International Bank of Commerce's, number come on, let me get it right here, okay. Number 12. Is there any other questions on it? Those in favor of,
Aye.
tabling motion 12, or?
We'll let the full board vote on it.
Motion carried, it's tabled. Move to item 13, consider and approve disbursements. Any questions on the disbursements?
I don't have any questions.
I didn't see anything.
I do have a problem, but it doesn't have anything to do with, might have to do with the disbursements. Apparently GT Paving went out, or somebody went out and did some work in Laguna Vista out by our water tower. And whoever, anyway, the bar ditch out there.
You guys seen that? It's 2/3 full,
Yeah,
and I got pictures the other day. The water was this far from being over the road with that little bit of rain we had. And if you look at the bar ditch, it goes up and humps and goes back down to the culverts to what your specs say. And it all comes down to they didn't want to pay to get rid of the dirt. You got the ex-building inspector city, what is he out there? Adverb, raising hell, and all the neighbors.
No, he's nuts, but anyway.
But I went out and looked at it, and it's not half as deep as it used to be. So I don't know.
Yeah, I mean,
GT Paving did it, and I don't care what anybody says. I'm familiar with that ditch, and I went out and looked at it, and there's like big humps in it, and then it goes back down the culvert. So he sent me pictures in the rain Saturday night, and the water was probably that deep, standing in the ditches, not draining. And if it would have been a 15-inch rain or 10-inch rain, half the town would have been flooded. So I'm not satisfied with the work, and I see we paid them. So.
Well, we know, well, that's just a monthly invoice that we're
They're
still
on
holding
contract, they're on
contingency and.
Well, they haven't went back and fixed it, and I mean, those
still
ditches
pending.
are half what they used to be, and it all came down to they didn't want to get between the
Well,
culverts.
I'm sorry I
in there.
brought this up.
No, the last discussion I had with G&T was that they had purposefully left some dirt in the middle because they'd expect some settlement, and then they'd come back and do the final grading, which hasn't happened yet.
Well, that's not
And
ain't
so-
gonna settle that much in.
So that's where we can, I mean,
But
since we
those
got this
ditches are
rain.
half what they used to be.
And we have had some settlement, because we did have one of the paving on David Cuervo, we lost some blacktop, it caved in a little bit, so, there's still some going on. But they're not done.
They're not done, okay.
They're still there.
We'll get the dogs off us.
And I know GT is always the best deal. When I was
Oh,
on
yeah,
the city
yeah.
commission, we used them on every job. They're always, and they do good work usually, so.
Someone's just gotta drive the train.
Exactly.
Is there
Yeah,
any
no,
other-
but that's a quick phone call, we can get them out there and start grading it back to,
I don't even know
to get it lower
anybody
than
else
that.
bids. They always outbid everybody, and the work's not bad, so.
Motion to
Okay.
approve the
Do
disbursement.
we have any other, gentlemen, do we have any other, questions on disbursements?
No. Second.
Okay. We got a second, Scott.
He already.
All in favor of disbursements, please say aye.
Aye.
All right. Motion carried, unanimous. Nothing else to come to before the board. I declare this adjourned at 6:51.